on, guys? Right now you're looking at an empty box. The reason for it is I'm continuing along with my reviews, my spots on the Marvel Legends Fearsome Foes box set. And on today's spot, what we're going to be doing is we'll be having a look at Rhino. Let's move the camera down. So here we have Rhino, and I would say, much like many of the other figures in this set, Rhino is one of the exclusives, being that you can't find this Rhino as an individually carded figure. The same was true with Carnage, Vulture, and Lizard. And then later on we were retooled with the same Carnage for the Spider-Man 2008 Hasbro line. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Lizard was reused, although the head was slightly changed. That may or may not be true, so don't take it for gospel. But today what we're going to be doing is looking at the very impressive, very imposing Rhino. And a couple of people have asked when I was going to do a review of the Ultimate Spider-Man Rhino. And the honest truth is, I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate line at all. And if you ask me, the definitive Rhino, let me just turn it around here, but the definitive Rhino is the Fearsome Foes Rhino. Definitely a figure. If you're looking for the old classic style, the classic drawn Rhino, I definitely would say get this figure. And this is actually the only Rhino I own, aside from the animated Rhino. And boy am I ever glad to get this guy out of the package, because I mean, as cool as he looked in the package, to get him outside the package is quite nice. Before we actually look at the particular figure, I'll just quickly touch base on his base. As you can see, it has Rhino on the front here. Again, not a big fan of the fact it shows his face. I think if anything, it would have been nice if they just used this crackled kind of skin, the gray skin of the Rhino suit, and just maybe did a base of that, so we don't necessarily have to look at a face for every single character. But the figure can stand on it, although the only drawback is, and I believe Shartimus Prime mentioned this as well, is, as you can see, for the way he's pegged and how close these pegs are, I mean, you can get one foot on there, but to get both, I mean, what Rhino figure would you want to have, you know, his legs that close together? I mean, if anything, you want the figure's legs nice and spread out, where he looks like he's just going to lay into you. But not a big fan of this particular base. I mean, it's nice that some characters get this, but I don't think Rhino is one that you'd want to put him on the base. Let's get a close look at the figure. As you can see, you can even make out that he's got the Rhino eye on the side of his mask. Really a lot of detail put in the face. What I mean, I love the fact that it's this classic style of Rhino. To me, this reminds me of the Rhino from the '67 Spider-Man series. I used to watch that every day coming home from school. I think it was on in the afternoon or something, early afternoon. But I mean, to me, this reminds me of that Rhino. A lot of detailing in the skin. You can see there's several different layers, different colors of paint application. There's like the darker gray, the light gray, and they've put it over this really nicely sculpted, like a elephant skin, rhino skin. It's kind of got that wrinkly kind of skin to it, and I mean, it was sculpted really well. I definitely would say that they really spent the time, and they did a great job on this figure. And I like the fact that they put the additional application of the darker yellow color in his horn, so it's just not you know, just a yellow on its own. I do like the fact that there's that little extra bit of depth to it. And you can even see like all the little wrinkles, all the little creases. Definitely, again, I know I've said it already, but I mean, definitely a really nicely sculpted figure. Now, in the way of his articulation, he has articulation in the head. Now, the only problem I have with the head is the fact that it's really stiff on this figure, and it really only stems probably from the fact I just got this figure out of the package. But to me it seems like, and it might just be me, but to me it seems like they've got what looks to be allowance for the head to bend back, but I don't know if it's just the way it's sculpted, but that head doesn't seem to want to go any further back than where it is right now. But the head can rotate, and you get a little bit of movement from up to down, but again, it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere, even though it looks like there's indication that it could. Not that that's really a big deal. But there is articulation in the shoulders, in the bicep. There is articulation in the elbow. Now granted, it's only a single point of articulation in the elbow. Not necessarily a bad thing, but there's a swivel in the wrist. As well, I think you guys can see it, his fingers are articulated as well. Now he doesn't have articulation in the knuckle area, just at the first knuckle, but there's no articulation in the individual finger, like mid-knuckle area. So you can open up his hand, like if he wants to hold a beer, or you can actually close it. I prefer to close it because it looks like he, again, wants to go in, start a fight. But he has articulation in the waist. He has articulation in the mid-torso stomach area. He has articulation in the leg, in the thigh, 2 points in the knee at least. There's articulation in the ankle area as well as in the toe. Lots of articulation, and definitely for a figure like this, the fact that you get all this articulation, you definitely have the ability to put him into some really nice poses. But I mean, this is a figure. Somebody has asked me a couple of times, or a couple of people have asked, what do I think of sealed packages versus open packages? I think if you want a good example is this Rhino right here. This Rhino definitely deserves to be on display. And just because, I mean, the size, the sculpt, everything on it is perfect. Just to give you guys a quick size comparison, the Spider-Man that did come with the set as well, quite a bit smaller, which, I mean, that's the way it should be. But I like the fact that the Rhino is stocky too. I mean, it's not like he's a really tall figure either. He is tall, but he's short, and he's a nice broad size figure, which is definitely good. Can't say enough good things about this. That was the toy spot on Marvel Legends Fearsome Foes Rhino. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Later.